In 2026, the world runs with astonishing efficiency. Smartphones summon cars, global supply chains hum, and capital moves at the speed of light. Yet beneath this seamless surface, a quiet anxiety persists. The systems that connect us also divide us, turning the global village into a patchwork of guarded neighborhoods. Tension is everywhere, in boardrooms weighing geopolitical risks, in households facing price spikes from distant disputes, and in headlines about data breaches. We're not at war, but we're not at peace. Caught in a gray zone of low-grade conflict fought with algorithms, tariffs, and shifting alliances. Allies and adversaries blur, trust is scarce, and long-term planning feels like a gamble. The hum of unease is the soundtrack of a world struggling to balance deep integration with resurgent divisions. The paradox of our era is clear: more connected, yet more divided. The world's quiet tension is not a relic of the past, but the defining feature of our present. This is the unquiet peace of a hyper-connected world. The old Cold War was a binary standoff: capitalism versus communism, clear enemies, and the looming threat of nuclear annihilation. Today's rivalry is more complex. The US, China, and Europe compete in a multipolar world, with shifting alliances and blurred lines. There's no iron curtain, just digital walls and contested supply chains. The fear now isn't sudden destruction, but a slow erosion of prosperity and security. Unlike the past, the US and China are deeply intertwined, trading, investing, and depending on each other for critical goods. This economic entanglement is both a source of conflict and a restraint, making direct confrontation mutually ruinous. The new Cold War is held in check not by nuclear fear, but by the threat of economic collapse. Decoupling would devastate the world economy, forcing caution on all sides. The competition is fierce, but the goal isn't destruction. It's gaining advantage while keeping the global engine running. The rules have changed, but the stakes are higher than ever. Today's great power rivalry is a contest of endurance, not annihilation. The world is learning to live with a different kind of Cold War. The battlefield is everywhere, and the weapons are economic. The outcome will shape the century. After the Berlin Wall fell, optimism soared. Globalization promised a world where goods, capital, and ideas flowed freely, lifting all boats. For a while, it worked. Millions escaped poverty, technology boomed, and supply chains spanned the globe. But this efficiency bred new vulnerabilities. Critical industries concentrated in a few countries, making everyone dependent and exposed. Disruptions, pandemics, disasters, or politics now ripple worldwide. The dream of a borderless world ignored the enduring power of borders and governments. As vulnerabilities grew, nations shifted from efficiency to security, reshoring industries and seeking autonomy. The belief that integration would guarantee peace has shattered. Now economic ties are battlegrounds. Microchips and shipping containers replace missiles. The globalist promise has unraveled, replaced by a scramble for resilience. Integration is no longer a guarantee of harmony, but the front line of competition. Today's world is shaped by a power triangle: the US, China, and the European Union. The US leads in military might, innovation, and financial clout. China is the world's economic engine, dominating trade, technology, and infrastructure investment. Europe wields regulatory power, setting global standards in privacy, environment, and competition. Each player brings unique strengths, creating a dynamic, unpredictable landscape. The US and China compete for supremacy, while Europe balances between them, seeking autonomy. Europe's Brussels effect shapes global rules, even without military muscle. This triangular rivalry means every move triggers complex reactions. The new chessboard is set: military, economic, and regulatory power in constant interplay. The future depends on how these giants compete and cooperate. In the 21st century, economic tools, tariffs, sanctions, export controls are the new weapons of power. Governments use them to punish rivals, reward allies, and achieve strategic goals without firing a shot. The U.S. leverages its financial dominance to isolate adversaries, targeting countries, companies, and sectors. Sanctions and export controls can cripple economies and halt technological progress. Control over supply chains, especially semiconductors, is a critical front. Tiny chips now determine global power. The U.S. restricts China's access to advanced tech. China races to build its own. Corporations navigate a fractured world, caught between competing rules and risks. The global market is splintering into rival blocs, each with its own standards. For ordinary people, this means higher prices, shortages, and uncertainty. Economic warfare is reshaping the world, quietly but relentlessly. The battle for supply chains is the new arms race. A hidden war rages in cyberspace, fought with code, not soldiers. State-backed hackers target not just militaries, but power grids, banks, and hospitals. Data is the new oil. Personal, corporate, and government secrets are all up for grabs. The US and China race for AI supremacy, knowing the leader will dominate digital conflict. AI creates smarter cyber weapons and defenses, escalating the stakes. Attribution is murky. The line between espionage and war blurs. This perpetual gray zone conflict breeds suspicion and risk of escalation. The digital battlefield is invisible, but its impact is profound. The war for data is shaping the future of power. The fiercest battles now target the mind, not the land. Social media is a weapon. Foreign actors exploit algorithms to spread division and doubt. The goal isn't persuasion, but confusion, flooding feeds with lies until truth is lost. Disinformation preys on existing divisions, pushing people to extremes. Democracies with open information are especially vulnerable. The challenge: defend against propaganda without sacrificing freedom. The war for attention is a central front in today's great power rivalry. The health of democracy depends on how we respond. Great power rivalry erupts in proxy arenas, unstable regions where US, China, and Russia interests collide. Africa is a key battleground. China builds infrastructure. The West counters with aid and promises of partnership. For local nations, this is both opportunity and risk, caught in a tug of war. Ukraine is another front. A brutal war blending old grievances and new technology, testing Western resolve. Proxy conflicts extend to digital and economic realms. Ports, networks, elections. For people in these regions, the stakes are real. Stability, prosperity, and security hang in the balance. The great power game is abstract in capitals, but deadly real on the ground. The world's future is being decided in these contested spaces. Global tension isn't just a geopolitical game, it shapes daily life. Insecurity drives governments to demand more surveillance. Citizens trade privacy for safety. Democracies adopt digital controls once unique to authoritarian states, eroding personal freedom. Trust between people, in institutions, and across borders, frays under constant suspicion and disinformation. A society without trust cannot function. As we build digital walls and surrender privacy, what are we really protecting? The greatest challenge may be preserving our values, not just our security.